Hey everybody, Steve from A Reptile I Am. Wanted to make a short video. I've been asked a couple times recently since we've started getting some hatchling crested geckos. What do you do with your brand new hatchlings? Well, first things first, I'm going to go through this fairly quickly because honestly, it's not really all that difficult, guys. So here's how it works. First of all, almost all of us reptile keepers have some sort of little, they're called critter keepers. But you want to take something like this, okay? The main reason is, I understand people get the babies and they're all excited and they want to get a great big enclosure and get all this extra stuff. It can add a lot of extra stress with your cresteds. They will tend to drop their tail. It has nothing to do with you being a bad handler. It can storm outside, something like that. If you've seen the babies, and I will show later, they carry a lot of vibrant, brilliant colors on their tails. So if you can keep them, that's great. But like I said, it happens. They will fall off. So anyways, back on track. I got to tell you guys, I'm not a professional in the terms of I don't have a degree in any of this stuff. So all I can do is tell you what works for me through the research and through the goodness of some of the other breeders and stuff that I've met along the way. So first of all, you want to get something like this. They're not too expensive, 10, 12 bucks, maybe something like that. First things first, I've already cleaned everything. Go ahead and clean it up. No harsh chemicals, anything like that. Hot water, give it a quick scrub, good to go. We're moving on from there. Okay, so the first thing that I always do is I take just a paper towel. Now, I like to make sure that I fold it up to where when I put it in there, it's going to lay flat on the bottom. Now, I think more than anything, this is a personal preference for me, but the main reason that I like it to lay flat is I don't want the little guy or girl or whatever to get underneath it. So it may be something with me personally, but that's what I do. Oops. Now, the main reason that I go ahead and I put a paper towel is when you have these babies, it can be very difficult to tell if they're actually eating. Okay, so you want that so that you can tell when they're pooping and peeing. If they're doing that, guess what? They're eating, you're winning. So that's going to be key for you right there off the bat. Now, they don't need a whole lot, but they do need some clutter. So here's what I do. First of all, I'm not promoting any of these companies. This is just what I have. I go and I get these flukers, little bend to branch. They're, 6 foot, so it is fairly long, honestly, but it's the super small ones. You can cut them down. Now, I'm not going to open this one because I already have one open, but then I also go and I just go to like your Dollar Tree or whatever, and I get some of these. Now, this bottom part is metal. So what I do for these little guys is, and I'll show you, I just take and I'm like, hey, you know what? That's probably good. And this is plastic, and I clip it, and there you go. You got you a couple branches for whatever you want to do. But that doesn't matter because I've already got it somewhere else ready to go. So I open that up, I go ahead and get that, and then I just kind of wrap my leaves around it. Now, the main reason that you want some sort of structure like this is you want something for them to be able to actually crawl around on. The greenery and stuff like that is because they are arboreal, so they stay up is what that means. So what you do is when you put that in there, they actually drink their water and stuff off of the leaves because they're arboreal, they're in the air, that's where they're at. So you want to make sure that you're able to go ahead and get that to where you have enough clutter as well. The other thing is they still need that high humidity. So twice a day, they need that spike. They need to at least be at an 80%. So a lot of times what I do is I'll mist in the morning. Now, they are also nocturnal. So I know sometimes they will come out during the day. It is fairly rare, but they come out at night. So at night is when you want to go ahead and mist heavy on your leaves and stuff. Now, not as much with these little guys because this small container will contain the humidity that you need. the temperature is going to be the same like it would be for all of them. And the crested geckos are temperature sensitive. So, you know, 72 to 75, 76 degrees is right in the pocket that they want to be in. You know, you start getting higher than that, and it's their species, they just don't care for it that much. So what I do from there is, any of your new hatchlings, you're going to go with something like this here for your cresteds. It's also what I feed our adults and things like that, but you don't want to introduce crickets or any live bugs, anything like that, for probably, I'd say, like the first 30 days. When you mix that stuff up, which I had some somewhere, right here, it's kind of hard to see, but when I actually do this, I want it just a little bit more runny than normal, and that's just adding some water to a little bit of your mixture. And you can't mix it up too much, but you definitely don't want it clumpy. Now, when I put this stuff in as well, I also like to kind of keep in mind, hey, let's see about making some sort of an area that's going to support this, so that the little guys or girls are able to actually eat while they're up there. So I try to make sure that there's a branch that's close that they can get on, and everything is very easily accessible for them. Now, when it comes to misting, once again, when you're at the dollar store getting that, these are $1 as well. Turn it to the lowest amount, you know, and always check somewhere else. But with this, you can individually mist, you know, your foliage and stuff like that without totally saturating your bottom part here, so that your paper towel isn't totally soaked. Now, in addition, you're able to go ahead and leave that your food and stuff in there with the babies, because it's good for them to just go ahead and continually eat if possible. Now, what you'll find is tomorrow it'll be a little bit harder, so I just spray a little bit in there, mix it up with my finger. Now, after a couple days, I will go ahead and change it out. You know, after a little while, I will go ahead and introduce like a small bowl like this on the bottom, which I will always keep a little bit of water in, so that when he's ready to go down there, because sometimes they will go down. I've noticed my adults do tend to go down, and they'll get wet before they do a shed or something like that for a pre-shed. So now the other thing to keep in mind is, anytime you're doing this stuff, I've already washed my hands. Like I said, everything has already been washed prior to this video. So it's important to make sure you take those steps, especially when you're dealing with these hatchlings. Like, we're going to do 2 videos. In the next video, I'm actually going to introduce the hatchling in here. This hatchling is about an hour and a half old. So honestly, guys, that's all I've got for this enclosure. Hopefully the video didn't go too long. Now, don't forget, go ahead and comment, like, subscribe. Don't forget to ring that bell, so you guys are able to stay tuned for any of the content that's coming up next. That's all I've got for you guys. Stay tuned for the next one, and it'll be a lot shorter. So I appreciate it, and we'll see you soon.